Welcome to the Drew Yari Show.
Hey, hello.
Jesus, can you hear me? Oh, wait, never mind. Hold on.
No.
Oh, I had the volume down. My bad. Yeah, because I can see you talking, but I'm just like, what the fuck? Why can't I hear him? I look down. It's like, oh, I had the volume off.
I have the same problem in real life.
Yeah, that's gonna be the topic of today's show. Yeah. I was asking you, like, what do you want to talk about on today's show? And you're like, oh, the shit that stressed me. I'm like, so that's gonna be all my 3 hours. Matter of fact, that's gonna be 2-part shows.
Oh yes, a 2-part show.
You know, I've been waiting to use up my 3 hours for an episode. So, or just have like a 2-parter show.
So you can end it with "to be continued."
To be continued.
Jesus of Texas will return in.
Kind of like Infinity War and whatever Avengers 4 is going to be called. It's like to be continued.
Infinity or War.
What? Oh man. Shit, I still have this cold.
Oh no, I think I'm getting a cold again, so I'm kind of trying to prevent that from happening.
Yeah, like what I learned about colds is that when your body's like really tired and weak, that's when pathogens get in. And yeah, these past 2 months I've been like dead tired because of just doing my internship and going to school. And I just finished my internship this week, and I just finished my summer class today actually. So fingers crossed, and seeing if I pass that class or not.
Oh, I'm literally in the same boat for my practicum class. I just finished today. The professor asked us to rate each other, so I'm assuming that's going to be what he uses for his final grade. So the person we're supposed to peer edit or peer review, and the other person actually called me, and he was just like, "Hey, just so we're on the same page, like, we're going to give each other good grades, right?" But honestly, he did a really good job on his, and hopefully I did just as well. So I'm hoping for a passing grade at least. I mean, passing in PhD is a B, so I'm hoping for at least that B.
Yeah, you and me both, brother. My internship, the only thing I have left is like a final paper, which is 5 pages, which I'm going to try and force myself to sit down and just finish it in one setting. Yeah, the thing about essays is that I always say that I could probably finish it in one day, but and this is just like a experience paper, but like my whole thing is I get writer's block and I just get lazy. I'm just like, I'll just finish this tomorrow. But it's due on Friday, so there's that, and then there's this class I've been taking, which has just been like. It should have been an easy class for me to pass, but the teacher makes it. He makes the exams kind of complex and difficult. Where like, he won't ask you to just remember things. He'll ask you to just choose scenarios and just pick the best option. And that's where it gets kind of tricky, because instead of just like, I want you to remember all of this, but at the same time, I want you to remember this. Like, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So, I mean, at best, I'll pass the class with a D. I mean, a D is still passing. But, you know, a D is kind of like, hey, you kind of like half-assed, but you still pass.
So. You can do it.
I hope so. I mean, the one thing that'll save me is my attendance, because He allowed you 2 classes, 2 freebies to miss, and then after that, if you didn't have an absence, it would count against your grade, and also like these case studies that we would do. So we did one recent, and those are automatic hundreds, and perfect attendance is automatic 100. So, and if I can get at least maybe a C or a B on this exam, then that'll save me. And also, this would be my last class taking for criminal justice, because in fall I take 2 elective classes for my major, and those will be at the main campus.
Okay, main campus name.
The main campus I actually prefer over like the criminal justice campus, because the criminal justice campus is really small. Like it just seems like you're just walking in circles. The main campus, there's a lot of shit. It's huge, and it also has a Chick-fil-A.
That's always a good thing.
Chick-fil-A has a Starbucks and 2 Subways.
It's like the Vine for Chick-fil-A. Chick-fil-A's live.
It's like, hey, yeah, they hate gay people, but they also have a mean, spicy chicken sandwich.
That's life, I guess.
All right, anyone that's just tuning in now, welcome to the show. We started a little early. I'm Yari, as usual, and returning is I don't know what the fuck his name is. Tell me what your name is again.
My name is Jesus of Texas. Follow me on my accounts with that. But I go by so many names. 7, in fact. I'm like a demon.
Doctor Strange. That guy from Saturday Night Live.
Man.
So,
I like that one. I like that one too. But yeah, I'm just trying to be famous, that's all.
yeah, we're getting there. This is a very special episode of the Drew Yari Show.
Mm-hmm.
We're getting in touch with our feelings.
Yes.
And we might even just touch each other. I'm just kidding. No, I'm not.
Through the phone, of course.
Yes. So yeah, what's been going on with Mr. Jesus of Texas?
Well, like I told you before in our off-camera interview, definitely very, very stressed right now. I've been first of all, physically, I've just been falling asleep. I have no control over when I'm falling asleep these days, specifically maybe the last 2 weeks. So that's not concerning. I guess that's natural, but I've always been able to just stay up and not remember when I fell asleep, and I just can't control. Literally, I got home today and I literally fell asleep and woke up maybe a couple minutes ago. So, and I've been waking up sweating, so that's a thing. Also, I've been having more nightmares. I always say I have nightmares, but it's because I have very ultra realistic dreams. So that's that. And it's something that always happens. It's something I just live with. My dreams are always very detailed, like a sleep journal about it. Most of the time when I can remember to actually write down what I remember. But as far as work, I think the last time we spoke, we were talking about after vacation, doing the practicums, and so that's almost over. Like I said, I finished it today, so but definitely I've been feeling the heat at my job, my district job. So I've got assigned new case, not new schools, but definitely a larger caseload, and in my opinion the largest. So I've been kind of preemptively stressing about it, if that makes sense. So everyone's kind of it's gonna be easy, and I was like, you don't understand. And I feel like I've been acting out a little bit more, as far as my personality has been kind of whack lately. Perhaps I'm more over it or sarcastic, or how I can be. I'm always joking about it, but I feel like it can be misinterpreted for sure. So I need to watch out for that. So yeah, I'm just more over it these days because of that. And like I said, things are gonna start getting busy on Monday, so that's when I'm gonna truly be able to tell how busy I'm gonna feel. And I'm not looking forward to it because I've been dreading it the last 2 weeks. And I just haven't been able to deal with it, and I'm dealing with some other things at my other job, and I really don't know what to do. So there's So I have two jobs, right? We talked about them. So one job is at a place where people go to have fun. Um, so, and the other one is at educational type agency, right? So, talking about the place where people have fun, I'm not having so much fun, and I like I said, I don't like to get into specifics, but it's been stressing me out because recently, I wanted to move areas. I wanted to try something new, which was something actually old, which I've tried before, but it hasn't been working out quite like I had imagined. It's kind of like the whole I always when bad things happen to me, which is a lot of times, I always think of the movie Wishmaster.
Yeah.
And you know how Wishmaster, he grants your wish in the worst way possible.
Yeah.
So I feel like that is literally my life, and maybe it's karma, maybe it's um, the universe. I don't know who or what, but it seems like my wishes get granted in the worst way possible, which is unfortunate. So I'm scared to. There's been days where I feel like so afraid to even move because I feel like some bad luck will strike me. And so more recently, what's been going on, actually, right before I switched areas or whatever, I was hearing that somebody was, talking about me or saying things that were, I think, unfair to me. Um, okay, like this is gonna be a joke, but like it's not a joke, I guess. But I've been called dramatic a lot of times, right? And not
Really?
because I have a minor in acting. But,
Really? You?
yeah,
You're
right.
like the most calm, docile person I know.
Right. So yeah. So yeah. I've been called dramatic. Like, I guess I've been called dramatic, and um, it just like I feel that when someone else is saying that about me and being very serious instead of like joking about it, or like lighthearted about it, I feel like it's kind of like evil or mean of them to do that, or very unfair to me to say that, and cost me perhaps a job by saying that don't hire him, he's dramatic, and that has happened at least twice. So that's concerning to me. But at the same time, I can't control what people do or say. However, it still hurts just the same, right? So that does hurt. It hurts me because specifically, I feel like I've been there in the past for this one person, um, and I'm like, and I hope you know this, Drew. Like when I have friends and people who I perceive as friends, I like go 110%. I go all out. Like I am completely dedicated, completely loyal. I'll do whatever, and I'll protect them. You know what I mean. Like I'm there for them. I'm with them. Like I am for. Like I am. I take my friendships very deeply, and so I took that one deeply at some point, and so it kind of hurts really to know that they're basically talking shit about me, and maybe it's not shit, maybe it's the truth, maybe they're one and the same, but it does still like make it unfair to have a reputation before you even get somewhere. And so like you would think that was the end, but once I switched over, I felt like I got some unfair heat from this person, or maybe group of people, I don't know, but for sure a person. And so I was like, what's going on? Like, why am I not happy in this place where I wanted to be? And I felt like, the Wishmaster, right? I was granted my wish in the worst way possible. And so, or with a curse. So, I said, you know what? I'm just going to ignore everything. Like, this is what I wanted. I'm going to make this work, right? And so then I went on vacation, and then like when I came back, like things go on. Like people have bad days, and I'm a person that takes my job seriously. I do my job like to the fullest extent of what is expected of me, and so this job requires me to like take care of things, make sure things are clean, things like that, right? And so I make sure they are, and I personally do the work myself if I have to, and I have in the past. And so I don't know what other people are doing that do what I do, but somehow they finish very quickly or whatever. No shade there, honestly, no shade. Maybe I am just like bad at my job. But I'm not one to leave something 50%. I will finish it 100%, because that's just who I am. Like, I'm like that. I'm dedicated. I'm competitive. I do whatever it takes. And so, um, recently, I guess that just supposedly, I don't know what is implied when what people say, what they say about me, but like, why are you taking so long? Why is it taking you so long to complete this task? Or, um, watch his hours, um, things like that, or making comments like that is hurtful, and it has hurt me. And maybe I shouldn't be hurt, right? It's just a job, right? But these are people that you become friendly with, people that you have to work with a lot and want to work with too. And then you kind of get invested, right, in your friendship, I should say, I guess, quote unquote, I'm air quoting right now. Um, and it makes it hurt a lot more than maybe it should if I were just, going for my paycheck, which I'm not. And that's evidence because I've been there a long time, and it's because I love working there. So that happens, right? So, I'd be hearing these things. Other people at the same level as me are telling me that this person is saying that to them, and I'm just kind of like trying to, throw these comments away. They don't matter, whatever. And so the other day, like, the same thing, like, I was trying to do my job. I get the heat. I even have a person below me come up to me and say, "Hey, I heard this person say this to someone else that's on your level." And, it was basically like undermining me, because now you're saying things very loudly, or so that others can hear. And it's going to affect the way people see me in my job, and where it comes from, I don't know. What I did to this person, I have no idea. So I'm just like, what do I do? Do I go and seek help from someone else? I've gotten opinions from people. They all have a semi-different opinion, but write it out. Tell somebody, do you whatever you think you should do. So like I said, I have no idea. Should I just keep ignoring it? But I think it's causing a lot more stress than it needs to. So, like, now both of my jobs are stressful. School wasn't as stressful as it has been in the past, so that helped me. But when you have like two jobs and you go to school, there's no life that you have. The life that you have must be in the places you work at and go to school at. And when that's not even a life anymore, then your life is completely falling apart. So, um, that's kind of like where I'm at as far as those type of things. So I've just been trying to think about not what I'm gonna do. I guess I already figured that I'm not gonna do anything like as usual. So, most definitely, like, I think it's just causing me more stress, and it's sad to me. It's sad that, like, we're friends and all that stuff, and it's just, I don't know. Like, I don't get stressed. I get sad, I guess. And just today, like, we're just like joking around, like, at my other job, at my district job, and I kind of like misspoke, perhaps. Like, I thought we are friends, but I kind of misspoke, and it kind of made me feel bad that I said what I said. But it wasn't anything like intentional or mean-hearted or anything like that. But at the same time, maybe I shouldn't have said what I said. So I do apologize for that. But yeah, like, that's kind of a little summary of what has been my life recently.
Well, like, shit. What you said, it kind of spoke to me, because I remember, my time at that place that was supposed to be about fun. Where I too was in a position of management. What I learned quickly is that you don't really have too many friends when you're in that position. I mean, luckily, I had friends. I had good friends like you, like Betty, and couple other people that I'm not gonna name. It's kind of like I'm not gonna mention any names. It's kind of like Mr. Q, if you get what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Before then, I didn't know him that well. I knew he was kind of a shitty dude, but I didn't think he was shitty towards me. But then as soon as I got into that position, that's when he started, getting shitty towards me, which in my head, I'm thinking, what does this guy have a problem with? I've never really had any bad things to say about him until now. And I remember you had a way of explaining it that kind of didn't make sense, but then Betty had to explain to me, which was that, Mr. Q, he doesn't like people that seem like they're more popular than him.
Mm-hmm.
Which Betty explained to me as, like, a lot of people didn't know me that well, but they knew who Betty was, and the fact that they saw that I'm dating her, they realized he must be a good guy, or he must be worthy enough that he's dating her. Because she wouldn't just date some random scrub. So, I guess that makes sense, but it's like, I've never gone out of my way to be likable or popular. So, yeah, I mean, yeah, don't sweat it, man. I mean, the way you describe how you work, obviously you're more detailed. You want to be, you want to pay attention to detail, not just rush it. Whereas, they preach that, to check your work, to always make sure you got everything, but yet if you're actually doing what they said, they'll complain that you're taking too slow. So,
exactly.
I don't know. It is what it is. But yeah. Case in point, the place that's supposed to be fun sucks. And I don't know that much about your other job to really judge it. I mean, what I like to call them, big boy jobs, big boy and big girl jobs. They depending on where you work, they're going to be rewarding, but they're always going to suck because there's a lot of hard work. There's a lot of heart and a lot of your soul put into those type of jobs. So
that's true.
What is that noise in the background?
This little winding sound?
Yeah.
That's actually a new pocket watch of mine. I think I went on a stress shopping binge recently, so I've been receiving over the last couple days a lot of stuff that I ordered mistakenly online. So I have issues. My dog is here too. My sister says she was a secretary because anytime I'm sitting at my desk, she wants to climb on the desk. She wants to get up on your lap and be on the desk. And I actually purchased this desk as one of the first pieces I bought for my house. And it was very cheap, but it's a very nice desk. In my opinion, it has keys, everything. So I have the keys hidden somewhere in my room, so you don't know where it's at, Drew.
God damn it! I'll find it
next time.
And I will find it. I will search every inch of that room.
So and when I found the key, actually didn't come with the keys when I originally purchased it, but when I cleaned out the desk, they were way in the back somewhere, between compartments. So, and it said front secretary desk or something like that. So this is my secretary's desk for myself. But but yeah, I'm literally ordered lights for my house, light bulbs from China. I ordered two pocket watches. One a collectible piece from originally it's a railroad watch, and it was originally sold in Walt Disney World in the 1970s. So I won't be using that one, I guess. Then I bought a retro watch that's antique. I'm sure if you saw my Snap story when I first got it.
Your many Snapchat stories.
My many Snapchat stories, like a movie. And so I bought that one, but I used it once, but the chain is a little short, so I'm thinking about going to Walmart or something and buying not more chain, but those little those hooks that you buy. So I'm thinking about buying a little hook so I can put it on my pant little loop easier. So I have the little one. That one you have to like wind. It's only they say pocket watches can only be winded like 24 hours up to 30 hours depending on the watch you buy. So every day, kind of like around the same time, I'm trying to wind it. It's I love I'm like obsessed with it. I want to buy another one, even though I think it came from China, or so, or I don't know. And then I ordered another watch. So I don't know what is wrong with me, but I ordered another watch, a USSR 1970s pocket watch turned into a watch, like a wristwatch. So I can't wait for that one to come in. It looks beautiful in the pictures. Hopefully, I'm not ripped off or anything. So I bought like a planner, like online. I bought. I need to look through my eBay list of things that I bought, but I have bought I bought a table, like a vintage. I mean, no, I love vintage, and I love thrifting. I love going. Those are kind of my stress relievers. Like, and it's kind of bad that shopping is one or buying things is one, because definitely it doesn't help you in the long run. I bought a pen, a retro pen, retro 51 vintage pen. It's a brand, and so they make like a retro style pens, but they're new, or pencils. So I bought a pencil, and it's like a Grey's Anatomy, so the real Grey's Anatomy, the not the the show. So it's like a skeleton on the pencil. It's mechanical. So
And how much is the pen?
this pencil it cost me $33.
You spent $33 on a pen.
A pencil, a mechanical pencil.
You spent $33 on a pencil on a writing device.
Yes, but it's a very good one. I like it. I mean, it has style.
The point of a pencil is that supposed to write shit out for you.
So, like
You
I
can
said,
go to Target and buy those for like $5.
like I said, I have issues. Eventually, I'll get help. So that's the state of my life right now.
Oh my god,
Literally the state of my life.
I'm so depressed.
I am. I literally like.
Not Niles. You just have like a random butler named Niles. Niles, bring me my Fabergé egg.
I want like a replica Fabergé egg. Why not? I was gonna get the Harry Potter egg, like the one from the Triwizard tournament, but it was $80 at Universal, and I just at the moment felt like it wasn't worth it. But I feel like if I go back, not that I will buy it, but I definitely will.
Oh, you're gonna buy it. You're gonna buy it.
I just don't know where it'll fit in my room. Like, this point, my room is gonna like fucking explode if I have in here. And like I literally said that today because in my office I also have a lot. Like, okay, I just like, since I love to like thrift and stuff, it's like I love the deal maybe, but I like finding like, honestly at the end of the day I like the style. So like if I like what it is, then I'll buy it, whether it's old or new, or you know what I mean. So I have too much stuff, and I definitely ordered too much stuff. And then like to top it all off, I ordered these flame lights for the outside, right? I told you. And they came from some Malaysian place. And as it turns out, they are the wrong bulb size. And so, because I ordered the candelabra size, you know, because like my outside backlights, they're very small. They're like almost Christmas light size, the little bottoms, the little twisties of it. And so I try to order, like, I have no idea like anything about lights. So I try to order the correct ones thinking I did, and it turns out I ordered 6 bulbs of the incorrect size. And so now I had to go back and order something like a converter from China. So that's going to take like a month to get here. So how's your life going, you know?
Well, I don't have $33 pens. Or any expensive shit that I don't need. My life, it's been ups and downs. I already finished my what's it called? My internship, my summer class, gonna be beginning fall, which is my last semester before I graduate.
Yeah.
Apparently I qualified for a grant.
Ooh.
So I definitely accepted that. Anything before that is just family drama.
It happens
Uh,
sometimes.
yeah. Long story short, both of my sisters are not talking to me.
I've been there before.
Yeah,
Sure.
they blocked me on Facebook, which
Shit.
today has become the new. Oh, if you block someone, that means you despise them.
You know what? I have never blocked anyone on Facebook, or unfriended. People have blocked me and unfriended me before, but
Was it Laura Barnes?
I still want to watch the second. I guess the second version of that movie.
I watched the first one because I like the first one. I mean, it's corny.
I like the way they filmed it.
Like to me, that seems like a better movie to watch on your laptop because it actually has that kind of feel to it. Like you feel like you're actually
You're
watching
right.
it.
You're just seeing the screen.
But like overall, I like it. It like we all went to go see it, and you know I thought it was corny as hell, but I liked it. The second one, I don't get why they're calling it Unfriended because it has nothing to do with Facebook. It's basically they're on the dark web.
Did you?
It's kind of like a Haunting Connecticut where they made part two, but they call it Ghosts of Georgia. Which I'm just like, why don't you just call it Ghosts of Georgia or Haunting in Georgia?
They should have named it Haunting in Georgia because, like, do you remember? I mean, you know the show Haunting, right?
Yeah,
And how they had the two specials episodes, Haunting in Connecticut, and then they had the second special, Haunting in Georgia, and that's the one that the second movie is based off of. So, I mean, that's interesting that they were to basically copy a show on Discovery, a Haunting. Their two specials, more popular specials, I guess, but it sucks that it was named A Haunting in Connecticut 2 when it should have just been named A Haunting in Georgia, and it would have been a haunting series. Like they could have like started a series, a haunting, like a haunting in, you know.
yeah, yeah. Like, cause I, it's weird. When I used to work at that place with those kids, like in the month of October, you know, I would just bring horror movies, you know, just to go along with the Halloween theme. One kid had specifically asked, you know, can you bring Haunting in Georgia or Haunting in Connecticut too? I'm like, yeah, sure. And we couldn't bring rated R movies for some reason because, you know, apparently one kid was watching a rated R movie in the group room and he walked out because it triggered a flashback.
Oh,
Which I heard that I was like, I mean, I wasn't trying to make fun of it, but in my head I was thinking, okay, that kind of sounds a little sketchy, but okay. And because I remember I brought Get Out, and that doesn't really have anything that can trigger a flashback. That's just like it just has a lot of cursing and you know people getting killed. But I mean, my boss was okay with it. Then they had to reject it because like the floor supervisor saw them watching it, and he's like, "Why are they watching a rated R movie?" Which in my head, I'm thinking these kids have been through rated R lifestyles before they got here. So why is watching a fake movie gonna trigger anything? But yeah, going back to my story, I was actually gonna buy Haunting in Georgia 2 or a Haunting in Connecticut 2, but it was rated R. I'm thinking, wait, I saw that movie. How the fuck was it rated R? Like the first movie was PG-13. And this was rated R. I'm like, what about that movie was rated R? I mean, yeah, it had like some violence in it, but nothing. I don't really recall it having any cussing.
Didn't the first one have like bodies coming out of the walls and stuff?
Yeah, the first one should have been rated R. The second one was rated R. I'm like, what the fuck? But yeah, yeah, Unfriended. I haven't seen it. I think I'll watch it. But I don't know if you do this. I feel like I'm the only one who does this. When there's a movie I have no interest in watching, I'll go on Wikipedia and read the plot.
I I kind of wait until they have cinema sins of it, and then I watch the cinema sins of it.
Yeah, like I read the entire plot for it, and my immediate reaction was like, eh. So speaking of meh, did you see that new trailer for Slenderman?
No, I didn't.
Oh yeah, you're not missing much.
What am I not missing?
Fuck. God damn. Basically, it's a giant bowl of meh.
How? How so?
You just have to watch the trailer. Like, the tagline in it is, once you see him, you can't unsee him.
Oh, God.
And my reaction was like, well, once I see this movie, I'll be able to unsee it because I'm not going to remember it because it looks like it sucks. It's kind of like the Bye Bye Man.
Oh, no, don't.
I didn't watch that movie. I have no interest to watch that movie. I would watch a Serbian film before I watch that movie.
That's the one with, like, the coins, right? And when you hear, like, that little coin flip or whatever, he comes. And if you write down his... Or you say his name? When you say his name, he comes for you or whatever.
I didn't see the movie, Jesus, so I don't give a fuck. But, yeah, that was my reaction when I saw the trailer or when I even heard about that movie being made was, yeah, bye-bye. But, yeah, Slender Man, it comes out this Friday.
Ooh.
Yeah, supposedly Sony apparently was, like, shopping around to, like, different studios to see who could, like, market this movie better. Because the way they've marketed this movie hasn't been all that good. Because the first trailer was just, like, a bunch of montages of, like... Basically, like, if you saw The Ring, and I know you did, The Ring in the video when they show all that fucked up shit, basically that was basically the trailer for the first Slender Man movie. Or the first trailer for Slender Man. In this one, they kind of delve deep into more things. It's kind of loosely based on the case with the three girls.
Okay, so I was going to tell you, like, I was about to read the little thing, like, so it's about basically the girls trying to kill the other girl for the sacrifice to, like, summon Slenderman or whatever.
Well, loosely based. This one is more like, these three girls, they find out that, like, the friend of hers has been kidnapped, and they go on her computer and look for the last things that she was searching, and one of them was Slenderman, and like dumbasses, they decide to go on the website and decide to summon him. And yeah.
Man.
That's what
and apparently he's real, so he does get summoned.
Yep.
Man.
Once you see him, you can't unsee him.
I guess that's a truth. Like, that's like a philosophical truth. Like, once you see something, you can't not have seen that thing that you saw.
I don't fuck
right. I mean, it's very. I mean, we can have a whole philosophy class on it.
Ugh. I don't know. This would have seemed like a better idea if it came out 5 years ago, when Slender Man was actually relevant and people cared about him.
That's true. They're a little late, and I mean, did they say when they actually filmed this movie? Like, has it been just like sitting there, you know, like waiting to get published, basically, or put out for production? Because it feels like that. It feels like they kind of like had it on the back burner. They're like, okay, we missed our real release. Now it's gonna be, we're just gonna have to release it and take the hit.
That's what it seems like, because like that case happened like when Slenderman was when like that whole Slenderman hype was like at its peak. This is like 5 years ago when like people, the whole like Illuminati and like Slenderman talk and creepypasta, when no one's really even like talking about it as much. So
yeah, I guess what they're doing, like, to release it now, is so that they have it by video by Halloween.
Well, no, it's coming out in August, man.
Oh. No, but I'm saying, like, they're probably gonna like be quick to release it on video. I mean, yeah, on DVD.
Yeah, probably. And then the month after that is The Nun.
Oh, well, yeah, I'm gonna watch that movie.
They released kind of like a new trailer, not online, but on TV, where basically they showed that, what's her name? The Akea from American Horror Story. That
Tiasa?
that she's going to become the nun.
Tiasa. Fergamo. What's her name?
Teresa Farmiga?
Tiasa Farmiga. Get it right.
Yeah, whatever. Anyways, the trailer just implied that she'll become the nun.
I mean, that's what I kind of thought at first, but then, like, I guess the other trailer tried to say different. Maybe she just gets like possessed by the nun, because the nun itself is like a demon, right?
Yeah, the nun's name is Velok.
Don't say the name. Oh wait, if you say the name, you have dominion over it. I forgot what the rules are for
Oh
demons.
yeah, at the end of
The end of Conjuring 2.
yeah, she's like, if you say its name, then it basically goes away.
I know your name, demon.
I know your name. I want to watch that now.
I love The Conjuring 2. My name is John Wilkinson.
Oh my!
Get out.
That's a good boy. He's a biscuit. Was there? I don't know. Is it weird that I was waiting for that ghost to come out and be like, "Give me my biscuits"?
Get out. It won't let it. And then like when they put it together, it won't let me go. And then like she like finally flashes out and sees like that the demon has been controlling this old man.
Man. Yeah, like, the Conjuring movies are great. The whole Conjuring universe that James Wan has started, or he kind of unofficially started it. Because there's the 2 Annabelle films. The first one was garbage. The second one was good. They're doing a third one, which I'm not sure why. And then they're doing a Crooked Man movie.
Oh yeah, I can't wait for that one. I have an ambassador that reminds me of Ed Warren. Like he looks like a very young Ed Warren.
Yeah, the weird thing about the Warrens is that in the movies it makes them look like they're these like knight in shining heroes. In real life, they didn't do much.
They were just emotional support.
Like if you watched, they had a Paranormal Witness episode about the actual Conjuring, and the Warrens actually didn't do much to save the family. As a matter of fact, they didn't save the family at all. Like,
how dare you speak ill of the Warrens?
I'm not speaking ill of them. I'm just going by what I see. It's like the actual family said that the movie was great and told their story, but it told part of their story. Like when he tried to exorcise her, he just made things worse, and the dad actually like knocked or clocked Ed Warren right in the jaw, and he had to leave.
Right in the gonads.
So they ended up having to leave the house, and the mom, like the mom comes out and she says that she's like 50 or 60, but she looks like she's 90. That's because the demon was sucking her life dry.
That sucks.
Yeah, no pun intended. But yeah, that's the actual story of how the Conjuring happened.
I mean, there's always gonna be fluff, and I think they cashed in on what they could. You can't blame them.
I mean, because real life isn't always exciting. Because you always have to you have to Hollywood up it a little bit. Because it can't just be, hey, I walked down the street and I got some ice cream and then I went home and watched TV. It's like, no, you walked down the street and then there was an intense car chase and then you got involved and then when you were trying to get ice cream you had to fight Godzilla for your ice cream and you barely made it back home to watch your television show.
Exactly. You have to plus your story.
I mean, it makes it more exciting. It's kind of like the movie Fargo.
Yeah.
Not Fargo. Argo.
Oh, yeah.
Where
Well,
my dad, who's actually from Iran, he was there when that happened. And he says the movie was good, but, not everything in that movie happened the way it claimed it happened.
so you're saying that they're liars?
According to my dad, it didn't happen 100%.
Are you calling Ben Affleck a liar?
I'm not calling Ben Affleck for dinner. No, Batman did not really save America, okay? He did not save America from those Iranians.
John Goodman didn't play a part in this.
John Goodman was not there. Oh man, yeah, this laughing is making my cough worse. So let me get your thoughts on this. The Oscars is apparently adding a new category for popular film.
Like, like you mean like commercially popular or like people talking about it, tweeting about it, film?
Basically, in other words, this is the Oscars' like desperate plea to get you to watch them. It's like, go ahead.
No, I can see that.
It's like, I mean, they should have done this a long time ago. Not necessarily add that, but like nominate films that people actually watch. Because like who won the Oscar for best film recently?
That movie,
What was that movie called?
the movie that wasn't La La Land.
I'm talking about recently.
Oh,
Was it
I
like
thought.
was it like Three Billboards Over Missouri or something?
Oh yes, that movie. I literally okay. So like when that just happened, I had a final for a class, so I named it 3 blog posts outside of UIW.
Oh man. Um, yeah, I've never seen that film, but obviously it was good because it won an Oscar. It's like you should base your films off of the popularity and also who goes to see them and the reviews they get. I mean, yeah, I guess it's cool that they're adding popular film, but that's really going to be what people are going to want to watch because I'm not saying nobody watches who's ever nominated for Best Picture, but there are films that I see in those nominations where I'm like, I've literally never heard of this film until now.
True. Some of them like they get like either like right inside the timelines, whatever the timelines are for voting, and then there's some that just come out of nowhere because the Academy's the one actually putting in the nominations, and then you
Yeah.
pick from there. I always wanted to be in the Academy. However, like you have to have, prove that you contributed in some way to the arts of movies, and so I don't have any of that. So I'm sure you have to like complete like a portfolio, send it in, they'll review it. I don't think they interview, but definitely. I don't know. Like I always wanted to be something or someone, or
You
we'll
have to
see
be
though.
you have to be with the foreign press and the media.
Exactly.
Yeah, same goes for the Emmys and the Golden Globes. There are films and movies I see on there where I'm just like, what show is this? With the Emmys now, it's like Stranger Things is getting nominated, which I guess that's good because that usually wouldn't be a show that would get nominated. Because it's science fiction, it's nerdy stuff. But the Emmys is acknowledging that it's actually a really good show, it has good acting. Game of Thrones always gets nominated. I'm not the biggest Game of Thrones fan, but I acknowledge that it's a good show and that it's really well done, has good acting. Glow, the show Glow got nominated, and that's about women wrestlers. That's about the actual Gorgeous Ladies of Wrestling show that came out in the '80s.
Hmm.
And that got nominated for best show, I think, or one of their best show nominees. So yeah, the Oscars, superhero films have gotten nominated. Like the only superhero film to ever get nominated for Best Picture was The Dark Knight, and after that, any other film would just get like Best Costume or Best Digital Graphic Design or whatever. Logan got nominated for Best Adapted Screenplay. And, Marvel films will get, like, costumes or designs or whatever. I don't know. I'm getting a feeling that Black Panther will get a bunch of nominations.
I think it will, honestly. I hope it does,
Yeah, because, it was okay. I love Black Panther. I think it's one of the best, Marvel films. It's not my top 5. But, it's definitely one of the best Marvel films. You ask anyone, they'll say it's like the best Marvel film ever, which I'm like, I don't think so. Very well done, very good story, very good cast, but it again, it's not even my top five.
How dare you?
It's like, yeah, it's because I'm a racist and I don't like black people. Shut up. So, and then, was it last or this past year at the Oscars? You had two horror films that were actually picking up awards. Get Out won Best Original Screenplay, and it wasn't Three Billboards. It was actually The Shape of Water that won Best Oscar.
Oh, I never got to watch that. I read the reviews and I saw the the CinemaSins for it.
Yeah, Guillermo won Best Director.
Of course, it's like a given with him.
Yeah, I love Guillermo.
I do too, and I can't wait for that Haunted Mansion movie that he's creating. It's way overdue.
You mean you're not a fan of the Eddie Murphy classic?
I am a fan of the Eddie Murphy classic, so that is that. I can watch that movie anytime.
The great Eddie Murphy.
Eddie Murphy and his acting abilities, as well as Jennifer Tilly's great performance.
You mean Jennifer Titties?
A great performance as a talking crystal ball named Madame Leota.
Interesting. I've yet to see that gem, but I'll give it a shot when I see it.
You need to see it.
Yeah, if you say it, then I have to. So, what was your favorite Guillermo movie?
It is Pan's Labyrinth, of course.
I didn't get to finish that movie.
What?
No, I watched it and it was really good, but I didn't get to finish it.
I love that movie.
Yeah, it was
absolutely.
It was pretty fucked up.
I mean, yeah, a lot of crazy things happen in that movie, but it's so powerful,
Because it had to do with the Spanish War, right?
It's during that time.
And yeah, I just remember that movie. Like the beginning of it shows the girl who's dead. I'm like, what? And then it shows like her life before that. There was actually a prequel to that, which was called The Devil's Backbone. Like it's like an unofficial prequel, the way Guillermo describes it.
Kind of like THX, whatever.
Possibly, yeah. But yeah, Devil's Backbone's during the Spanish War, and there's a guy, like a soldier or whatever. Like he somehow stumbles into hell, I believe, and he meets this dead kid who's a demon, and it's the first time anyone's ever portrayed a kid as something other than wisecracking one-liner. Oh, I'm a cutesy little annoying kid. Like this is actually this kid's dead. You can see his brain, and I've never seen it. I actually want to see it. So yeah, put that on your list of movies.
I am the Devil's Backbone.
Backbone. What else? What other Guillermo movies? There's Blade 2.
What about he did The Orphanage.
Orphanage, which that was sad.
That was crazy.
Yeah, what was it? 1, 2, knock on wood.
Yeah. Un, dos, toca la pared.
Yeah, I'm seeing that scene like, stop fucking doing it, and then she turns around. Ah! And it ends up being sad.
I love that. Like, I hate that the movie came out called The Orphan, and completely changed people.
Yeah, The Orphan. That movie was already ruined before it came out because someone leaked the plot.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I literally the day before I went to go see it, they released the plot. I'm like, well, fuck! I already bought the ticket.
Did you ever watch the movie Don't Be Afraid of the Dark?
I'm trying to remember which one that was with Katie Holmes.
Isn't it?
Is it the one? Is it the one about the family that moves into that house and there's like little gnomes or goblins
Yes,
that live in the
yes.
house. Yeah, I saw that. That was fucked up. Saw that, and then yeah, the ending, of course, had to be like a sad ending.
Oh yeah, that's what he's known for. I love the Hellboy movies. I do
Hellboy.
love those.
Oh yeah, the first two I liked them. I didn't really get into them that much, but they were pretty good. He also directed Blade 2,
Hmm.
which supposedly out of all the three is the best one. Um, what else?
Let's not forget my ultimate favorite movie by him,
Uh,
Mimic.
oh yeah.
How dare you just say, "Oh yeah, it's a great movie, Mimic."
Is it the one about the giant roach?
You make it sound like it's not a good movie when you say that.
I never said that. I'm just asking because I get it confused with another movie.
It is that.
Which one was the movie where like they're in a museum and the museum is flooded and they're being attacked by something?
Wait, I know what you're talking about.
It has that woman, the one that played like the principal in Kindergarten Cop.
Ah,
I'm trying to remember what the fuck that movie's called. I think it had Mira Sorvino in it. No, Mira Sorvino was in Mimic. Never mind.
what is it? I know what you're talking about.
Let me Google it real quick.
What are they being attacked by?
I don't know. That's why I'm trying to look it up. Okay, Linda Hunt. Relic. There it goes. The Relic.
The Relic?
Yeah. Blah, 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 blah. Yes, The Relic.
You know what that movie reminds me of? Mirrors.
That's another one I need to watch again.
I like it. I would watch that movie again just so I can get a new perspective. Because I felt like when I last watched it, I was like younger and maybe not paying attention as much because I bet you there's some details I probably skipped over.
Which one is the one where with Joshua Jackson where they're in Japan?
The one with the boy.
No, not that one. It's where he's dating some chick, and he's like a professional photographer.
DI with what's her name? Jessica Biel.
No, not that one. Not that one. It's where like some like Japanese spirit is following his girlfriend, and then it turns out that
she's been carrying him. She's been carrying the demon on him.
Yeah, he's been like sitting on his neck this whole time. That's why he's had neck problems. I think it's called Shudder.
Yes.
Yeah, that's another good movie. That movie's creepy as fuck.
That's creepy as hell. Like, that's creepy.
That ending where it shows her sitting on his fucking neck.
Yes. Oh.
Ugh.
That,
we watched that, not too long ago, and we watched that like last year, but it still holds up. It's still fucking creepy as shit.
No, Joshua Jackson in what's that movie called? Urban Legends. Yes. I love that movie, Urban Legends.
Another gem. I forgot how did he die in that movie? I'm forgetting.
He hung up on the car?
I think so.
Cuz right, he was hung up in the car. He went outside the car after they were making out in the forest to pee. His body gets dragged up, and then he's like scraping. Yeah, she puts him on a noose.
Yeah.
And his like tiptoes are like scraping, and then she gets scared, so she drives off, and she accidentally hangs him, I guess.
He dies from that. What's it called? Lex Luthor from Smallville. He like ends up getting forced to drink bleach or paint thinner or something. That's a way
to go.
And then your favorite death, Tara Reid.
I literally isn't she in the second one?
You mean the killer?
Tara Reid's in the second Urban Legend movie.
No, she's in the first one.
I thought she's in the second one.
No, the first one she plays a VJ, and then she gets killed live on air, and then the what is it, the snow hoodie chick just like looks out glass and just does the wave, the 5-finger wave.
That's my favorite.
Your all time favorite GIF.
Yes.
And then Jared Leto ends up living, which, yeah.
Of course. No, but who's in the second movie that's basically her?
I haven't seen the second one.
Urban Legends. You should watch Urban Legends 2. It's really good. It's with our favorite chick.
I think there was a third one.
There might have been, but at that point, it's no good.
Yeah, the third one, it was about Bloody Mary.
Oh yeah. I know what you're talking about. No. This one's like with that girl from House. Who else is in the movie?
Urban Legend Final Cut.
Yes, and they're making a movie about urban legends.
Okay, Jennifer Morrison, who was on How I Met Your Mother. Ava Mendes. The guy.
Yes.
The guy that was in Legally Blonde, that one who was, I guess, used to be
bad
with,
guy.
Yeah, Loretta Devine, as usual.
Yes. Freeze, motherfucker! What's she saying? Like in the movie, like Foxy Brown.
Joey Lawrence, Anson Mount, who was on that show Hell on Wheels, and he was also on the failed Inhuman show. Anthony Anderson. Jessica Coffey. Yeah, I can see what you're saying. Yeah, she's. You know what? I did see Urban Cut. I just saw the beginning though.
When they're filming the scene where she's getting killed on a plane, like after having sex on a plane or whatever.
Yeah, the guy's eating her out, and she's saying, "You're going down."
Oh God! I mean, like that's why I stopped. Well, I mean, that's why you can't. I mean, that movies. My mom always made that comment. Like, why do scary movies have to like rely on sex scenes to like sell their product? Like, they can just be scary.
I don't know. Like, there's still people in that mindset of sex sells.
Yeah, but and granted, they're also teens. These specific films that we mentioned are considered teen screams.
Yeah. Urban Legends 3: Bloody Mary. It has the Mara sisters.
So she's back?
Yeah. This came out in 2005. It has Kate Mara and Rooney Mara.
Really?
Yeah, Kate Mara, who plays like the main chick, and then Rooney Mara plays Classroom Girl. So I'm assuming this was like one of their first films.
Urban Legends. What happens in this movie? Like, what's the premise?
About Bloody Mary?
I mean, I could assume, is it like finally a real demon or something?
I don't know. Like, I only watched because Betty told me to watch it because she said it was interesting, and I watched like maybe 30 or 45 minutes of it. And I just went, nah, I'm good.
I want to watch it now. I've never watched the third one because I felt like it just like, of course, like it goes down and downhill, from the original, but.
I don't know. Oh man, breaking news.
What?
Superman, the original Lois Lane from Superman, has committed suicide.
What?
Yeah, I'm just reading this right now.
Wow. Like, just is on TMZ or what?
Well, no, or actually, she died in May, but it's revealed that her death was a suicide.
Mm.
Like the original cause of death was that she died in her sleep.
Oh damn.
It's a bummer, man. Just I don't know. Like I I probably know what your. I have a feeling what your thoughts are going to be, but like, I just. God damn it! I keep calling. Like, how low? Like, I'm gonna try and find a nice way to say this without sounding insensitive. But like, I don't know how people get that low that they feel that taking their life is, the best way to go.
It just becomes like extremely unbearable, like the truth or reality.
Yeah.
And so, since I think so little is known about what comes after, I think it's just darkness, and you don't know what you're getting yourself into. I think, like, deep down, you really don't know what you're getting yourself into. But it seems like that is the only option left. So, I mean, it's tough, like, to really think about it, but it does happen a lot, and it's more philosophical, perhaps, than it is psychological. Psychological, yes, like the fact that you're thinking about doing the action, but it's about what you're gonna receive afterward is like the philosophical part of it,
Does it also play into effect where it's like, I'm trying to choose my words carefully. Like, you notice this happens to a lot of people where, and I'm not saying everyone, has this, when they kill themselves, but you notice it happens more and more to people where it seems like they have it all, but you don't know deep inside they're suffering. It's kind of like, with Robin Williams, he seemed like he was happy, and people around him said that they thought he was happy. They kind of sensed something was wrong, but they didn't think it was that terrible. But the rumor is that he was broke, and he's going to go bankrupt, and that's the only way he felt that was necessary. I know people personally who have gone through that, and I'll look at their lives and I'm just like, why would you do that? You have A, B, C, and D. You have this person to care for. You have, you have kids. You have a family. You have responsibilities. Why would you think that would be the best way to go? And again, I can't get inside their head and assume to know what they're thinking. So, because in their head, I'm not going to speak for them, but I'm just gonna go off what they tell me. In their head, they're thinking that they're just a burden to everyone. And when you're depressed, when you have depression or mental illness, and I heard this from somebody, a podcaster whose name I can't really think of at the moment. They said when you have depression, in your head you think everybody hates you.
Mm-hmm.
Even when people tell you they love you, you think that you're just always causing problems for them. So, I mean, that's basically my my two cents on that that topic.
Yeah, and I mean, like, what I think about, like, I think we had a discussion kind of like a little bit before, the last time we talked, about being at a high point, and it's kind of like the whole adage, like, the taller you are, the further you fall, whatever it is, right? Or the harder it is when you fall, because the bigger you are. And it's kind of like that. Like, you hit your peaks and valleys, and sometimes when you get on a super high, and that's like the problem with bipolar disorder. I think a lot of people have a misconception of what that is. They think bipolar disorder means you have different personalities or have mood swings. And mood swings is a disorder, or parts of, or ways the disorder manifests, but definitely not so much. Bipolar disorder just means that you are suffering with major depressive disorder, and then you have moments in your life when you feel invincible, and those are called manic episodes. And so once you have a break or a manic episode that lasts about a week or 2 weeks, then you're considered to have bipolar disorder. But your overall like mood is always going to be depressed, or depression. Even though those times when you feel invincible, you will do things that you think will not kill you, that can easily kill you. Drive fast, drive drunk, potentially overdose. So those are the type of things like you start doing. During those episodes. I'm not saying that this was the case in that way, but definitely I think a lot of people have those things, and they might not understand. They might have a misconception of what those disorders are or how they manifest in people. But yeah, I feel like once you're in a high or in a high point in your life, you think back on what you gained, and to lose that can be very hard, I think, on people. I mean, we can all relate, I think, to a certain extent. You make some money, you lose money, it feels a certain type of way to you, and just multiply that by, 100, 1,000, a million, right? And it's not only material things. You lose people too in your life. You lose people you love. So it can make you feel very lonely. Even though you're surrounded by, it's like the whole thing, right? You feel lonely when you're surrounded by people. You don't enjoy doing the same things you used to. So it creates like this valley, this cliff. And as you keep getting closer to it, it gets deeper and deeper. And so that, I think, is the metaphor, for those types of situations. And so, like I said, it's just like one of those very hard things to even understand unless you're going through it at that moment. You can only ever be an observer unless you actually have experienced it.
I mean, you can never truly know what someone's suffering unless you're actually in their shoes.
Mm-hmm.
From the outside looking in, it's like, oh, they have all that money, they should be happy. It's like, well, money doesn't always equal happiness.
Yeah, like that song. I'm on the outside, I'm looking in.
I can see through you, see your true colors, see that you're ugly.
You ugly like me. I literally love that.
I love
that song. It's a great song because inside you're ugly like me. Ain't that the truth?
I mean, why do you think you hear about all these stories about rich kids being unhappy? It's like, yeah, a lot of these rich kids most likely have parents that don't always hang out with them or don't always talk to them.
Mm-hmm.
They'll just have, like, the nanny or the butler or the driver just talk to them. Like, perfect story is that, have you ever seen that movie called Foxcatcher?
No.
It's, but you know what it's about, right?
No, I don't know.
Fuck Jesus. It's about a guy named Steve DuPont, who comes from, like, a very, like, rich, well-known, respected family in Pittsburgh, the DuPont family, where in the movie Foxcatcher, he's played by Steve Carell. He's a guy who's like, he was like this big, freestyle Olympic, collegiate wrestler, and his background is actually very tragic. Is actually kind of sad because his whole life until he left for college, he had lived at home. He had lived in his mansion, and he never stepped foot outside his mansion. He never had any friends, and the only friend he had was the son of his chauffeur. And it come to find out his mom had actually paid the chauffeur money to tell his kid to hang out with him. So that
is sad.
That's pretty sad.
It reminds me actually of a like a Disney movie or something my sister made me watch one time, and like the same thing happens. Like the parents like to give this girl everything, and she has a neighbor that's also kind of rich too, but not as rich. And then they find out like this girl like meets her at school that's not rich, and like they actually hit it off. But then like I guess the dad observed like them talking, so he intercepts this new girl that's not as rich, and he like offers her money to like be her friend. So like the whole like comedy of it is that, or the movie premise is that eventually, it's kind of like every movie, teen movie. It's like eventually the girl finds out that the dad paid her, but all this time was actually a real friendship. She never cared about the money. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah, it's definitely. I think it can be like that for those. So it's kind of like having sugar-free ice cream. Like, because it's sugar-free doesn't mean there isn't something else that's going to harm you. They replace it with something else to make it taste good. So, I mean, just because you have a lot of money doesn't mean there's no other issues too.
You can't force somebody to be your friend. It has to happen organically, and money does not equal happiness, like I said, and like everyone else has been saying in the beginning of time. So, yeah.
Yeah.
I guess we can talk about one more thing. Okay, so I saw this post by somebody who I'm not going to name.
Okay.
And I unfollowed that bitch, and she decided to take her comments off because she knew people were going to lambast her for it. She puts up a meme that she made herself, it looks like it, where she said, "Men are the new bitches." Now, I'm interested to hear what you're going to say first. So, go ahead.
Wait, like, what is the context of this post?
The post just literally says, "Men are the new bitches."
But no context whatsoever was given?
And in her caption, hold on, let me pull up, like, because I screenshotted it. Here's what she put. "Some of these men act worse than females. It's unbelievable that hate comments and messages I get from men. It's sad that men feel empowered and manly to bully a female. I don't get why. Honestly, I don't care to know. I just think it's ridiculous and shame on you. I pray that if you have daughters, that they never get bullied by males just like you." Prayer emoji. So
what did she say bitches were? Like,
I just took that as, so I guess that makes women the new assholes.
I think, like, I don't even use the word. I usually, like, I can use the word bitch for many different things, just like that video that circulates around Facebook and Twitter all the time. Bitch has many different meanings. You know that video?
Yeah.
So I literally, that is me when it comes to that word. So I guess I'm taking more of the perspective of what is the word and what it means to people. Like, I use the word a lot and maybe too much, but
I've noticed.
like bitch, guess what? Or you're a bitch, and I never really mean it to people. Like, I hope people really believe that. Like, when I say like bitch, like, I really do mean, like, endearment, which I understand, like, semantically or whatever, you take your own perspective on what it means, especially when it's written. You can take whatever point of view, because you no longer have intonation with it. So in this post, the reasoning is really valid, but people suck. Like, there are bad people in the world, men and women. So while I agree, like, that men shouldn't be, like, chauvinistic or rude or treat women badly, that I do believe that, and it happens a lot. It happens more so than the other way around. And the argument is that it happens both ways, and that is true. It does really happen both ways, and I think that there's a segment of the population that are men that don't say anything because they will be shamed into, like, oh, you let a girl boss you around, or you know what I mean, or do that to you. It happens. It happens guy, girl, guy, girl, girl, guy. So it happens to any. It's just like I see this more as the individual person. Like, if we talked about people's the way people treat people, then maybe we wouldn't be feeling so, like, attacked. I guess if you're a man or if you're a woman, you wouldn't be feeling so attacked. Like I said, people are bad and people are good out in the world, and so I do think that there are statistics about, like, as far as the occurrence of it, But then again, how accurate are they if men are not reporting anything, right? So, but like I said, like there's just so much more behind all that argument of things, like the gender argument of that post. However, like bitches, like I guess like I don't feel it's bad. I've been called one, like I've been called worse, like but I guess like it just has like the feminine aspect to it. So like if you call a man a bitch, you're calling him like girly, I guess, which is also another gender thing that is a whole other thing. Why bitches and assholes is one's man, like one's a male and one's female. You know what I mean? Like as far as like description, or one's a dick. You know what I mean? So I think that just has more story than is needed these days. I think in the past it was just everything was so gender specified, and so to call a woman a bitch, was to say that, very derogatorily say that she was acting like a woman or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so to call a man one would be to say that you're acting womanly in some way. And that's, again, another unfortunate thing about society where men must act like men, women act like women, and somehow like there's certain behaviors that are only associated with each, even though everyone can experience all behaviors. I deep down, I believe that. So I think there's just some things that come naturally to each, but I don't think that's the be all end all. I think that I believe in the curve, the bell curve, right? So the bell curve says like that there's going to be a high percentage, 95% of people are going to be, actually no, there's going to be a high percentage of people falling within an average range or norm range, where certain behaviors, whether they be this or that, are considered in the normal range. So let's just talk about height. Like, let's say 5'6" to 6'2" are considered average, right? So anyone falling within that range is considered in the average range of height. Anyone below is considered short. Anyone higher than that's considered tall. So it's kind of like, I feel like it's kind of like that for behavior, right? Or with anything. Like I truly believe that that's how nature works. It works in the balance of, there is a give and take when it comes to things, or the way you look, the way you are. There's like the normal range. Now, I'm not saying that we should use the word normal. I'm just saying that there's a range that people fall in, and as well as behavior, and as well as specifically behavior that has to do with gender roles. And so I think like the post miss its mark when it became like very, like, not political, but very much attacking a gender. Perhaps it could have been just like, I hope that men know that this is wrong, instead of saying, like, you don't have to call someone a bitch. Like, either, it goes both ways. I mean, the post could have been the post if she said like, men treating women wrong has to stop. For too long they've been taken advantage of. So I mean, that would have been acceptable to me. Like, that. I think we've had discussions on that.
Yeah, because when I see posts like that, it just kind of like, and this isn't me trying to do the whole, oh, I'm a guy, baby. Like, no, this isn't me. This isn't my male and in intestinal fortitude coming out, which I don't know if I said that right, but it kind of sums up this new era we're living in. The Me Too, or don't say anything negative about women, or don't question women. It's like, it's kind of like with Henry Cavill, where he made that that statement where it's like, we live in an era. I'm basically paraphrasing what he said, where the era we're living in now, it's kind of scary to ask out a woman you don't know, because you don't know how they're going to react to you. Like a simple, like, hey, I'm just going to put my hand on your knee. They'll take it as, he tried to rape me. and he basically concluded with, I'd rather ask out somebody I know than a stranger. And then he got lambasted for it, which is, of course, is like you don't ever question women, especially in this time. You need to go with the flow, and all men are pigs, and blah blah blah. Even if you're innocent, there's people that are still going to think you're a monster. Like with Chris Hardwick. He got in trouble a while back. He almost lost everything, and then they did an investigation. They cleared him, and there's still people out there that think he's guilty. Kathy Griffin, who's apparently a huge feminist. She, said that he's guilty, and people are just scared of him. Blah blah. It's like he's not that powerful. Harvey Weinstein was powerful, and look at him. He got what he deserved. Bill Cosby was powerful, and look what happened to him. They're out of the limelight. Chris Hardwick is not that powerful. I mean, yeah, he has like 1 million jobs, but he's not that powerful. So, I don't know. This society we live in, you're either damned if you do or damned if you don't. You're guilty if you're presumed guilty. Even if you're innocent, people are still going to think you're guilty.
Well, yeah, like court of public opinion, right? It's just the way the media exists these days, They make whatever calls they want to make, whatever sells, really. But yeah, like, it is, I guess, as a guy, like, you just have to be aware of your, what you do, but both ways. Like, because I think a woman has the right to say, like, these things have happened in the past and have been, like, unfair. But I think we have to get to a place where we all are equal, and that's going to be hard to work towards. Like the pendulum is swinging, but we just need to make sure the pendulum swings in the middle, right?
True.
Because it's going to swing the other way, and it's going to feel like, like Henry Cavalli, right, was saying, it's going to feel like that. But at the same time, like, how do you think women felt too?
True.
We just have to make sure it swings back in the middle. And I feel like there's a secret, perhaps, agenda by some or organizations where perhaps they don't want it to swing in the middle, right?
Yeah, because the whole reason for this Me Too thing was to give victims a voice. They didn't have a voice before, now they do. Now it's for women that just want an agenda. It's basically a way of scaring off men when it shouldn't have been about that. It should have been about scaring off, like, the pigs and exposing them and showing who the real monsters were.
And I think it is. It really is that, like, I read one of the articles, I felt like, I forgot where I saw it, Twitter maybe, and it was just like, there's a group of people that want to start the male Me Too, and then, like, you kind of ask yourself, like, well, Me Too is supposed to be for all, not just for women. And so I think that's where perhaps, like, it missed its message. Like, it's supposed to be for both, and it just so happens that a lot of women finally found a voice and a platform, and they spoke. And I think it's kind of like the product of media, where you kind of think that things are going crazy. The media spins, and so by presenting these women, and granted, like, if you really look at the overall numbers, it's a low percentage of them that are actually, but they're highlighted so much that men, or some people, believe that it's so many women, which there are probably more. Statistically, there's way more that are not saying anything still. And so it's the way the media spins it, and they want to, it's kind of like where you watch this, you watch those videos or those pictures where, like, they show the other angle of the newscast, and you see, like, that they lined up a bunch of people to look like they were writing, and in fact, like, there was nothing going on around them. So, like, those are, like, conspiracy theories, but, like, that could be happening because it isn't the agenda of companies. And we talked about agenda of companies before, and since they're private companies, they get to decide what they want to push, and if they want to push that, they're going to push that. And I feel like it is a time to push it. But I think that there's always a balance to everything. Like, and that doesn't mean that, like, oh, don't, like, it's not like a person that says like, oh, you're free, but you're not that free, and so sometimes you need chaos for something, or you need like complete destruction, like an apocalypse, for something to grow. To grow from the, what is it, like a phoenix, to grow from the ashes, right? To be born of the ashes, and so maybe that's something that has to happen. A complete destruction of what we believe to create a new future, or a new reality. I don't know if that will happen. That will be very intense if it does happen in that way. But perhaps maybe like that is the only way. And the other turn, the other side of that argument is like that some people want to see, it's the Joker, right? Some people just want to see the world burn. We just need to make sure like that the reasoning for what we do is for the right reasons. And I think we, like, maybe 2 times ago that I talked to you, like I talked about, like, it just depends on what the person's intention is, right? If your intention is to, speak out, bring out light to your former attacker, like finally get peace with something that happened, then please do. At the same time, then there's the other side of things where people just want to stir things. And I think back, and people watch the Joker. Obviously is a good example, right? He wants to create chaos. He has no agenda besides that. Yeah. But some could argue that he does have an agenda. But then I think of like Charles Manson, right? He wanted to start helter skelter, right? He wanted to start race wars, but he had an agenda. He wanted there to be chaos, but he wanted it because he wanted to see people of ethnic backgrounds be criminalized, and he wanted them basically become victims of crime. So he did have an agenda, and he was. I'm glad he was not successful in that. Just shows that the world is a better place than you might think. But it is definitely not perfect and dangerous. It is very dangerous, and so I don't know. I believe it's what the intention is, and I'm hoping that it's only good intentions and like for the betterment of society intentions, versus like the media spinning it to see what sells, or the organizations that are wanting just to benefit from certain things going on in the world, right? Because they've done this whole, like, not conspiracy theory, because I feel like it's more than that. It's like the whole weapons industry, where they perhaps manufacture wars in order to sell weapons in arms dealing. So like that happens too, and maybe that's something we're in metaphorically, right? We're in a manufactured war because people want to sell their products. So I'm hoping we are not in one, or I'm hoping also we are not in a simulation, which sometimes it feels like we are in one. But definitely, like, it's just one of those things that it's going to take a lot of time before anything is really resolved. But we're still kicking up dirt, I think.
I don't know. The time we're in is just, it's only going to get better before it gets worse. I mean, the Me Too thing has done some good things, but it's, again, it just seems like anytime there's an opportunity for someone, they'll take it and completely abuse it for what it was supposed to be. It's like, this is supposed to expose, those slimy, scummy people out there like Harvey Weinstein and Bill Cosby. But now it's just like, how can this benefit me? So, not to say, yeah, sexual assault is wrong. There's no way around it. It's wrong. Rape is wrong. I'm waiting for this to really out those, the pedophiles in Hollywood. Mm-hmm. Which, I don't know how. It just seems like pedophiles always find a way to kind of cover their tracks. You look at Bryan Singer. He still gets work. I don't know how he does. He's a known pedophile. Victor Salva, from the Jeepers Creepers movies, he The story is that he literally got out of jail because he fucked a kid, and he got work on a Disney movie, Powder. And then he did the Jeepers Creepers movies, and it's like, how does this fucker still get work? So that's just astounding. I don't know what your take on that is, but it's just weird. Like, it just seems like rapists are a lot easier to catch than pedophiles.
Yeah, that's like, I've seen those like conspiracy theories by like Shane Dawson and stuff, like pedophile rings or whatever, and like it's so crazy that like that even exists in this world, And
Yeah, a friend of mine had told me that there are like that's one of the Illuminati things, is that you have to partake in what they want you to do if you want to be on like the big screen or the big Hollywood movies, and if you don't, you'll either be reduced to doing Broadway or indie films or nothing. Because like the big story that's been coming out is that Tom Hanks is a pedophile.
That's weird.
Your favorite actor ever is the story is that there's a girl on Twitter that she says that her dad had sold her to Tom Hanks as his own personal sex slave when she was 13. And if you look at Tom Hanks's Twitter, he'll show a lot of pictures of him, like, taking pictures of like, child's clothing, saying, "Oh, this little girl lost her shoe," or "Oh, this little girl lost her hats." And to me, it's not that to me, it's not that weird. This guy at work that I was talking to, he said it's like really weird. It's almost creepy. So, and then he named a couple other names, like Steven Spielberg is apparently a pedophile. What's her name? Meryl Streep takes part in it. Just a bunch of other random names, and you hear about it, and it's like, I hope it's not true. It just sounds too crazy to be true.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things that like it's hard to wrap your head around, because like it shouldn't be true. Like, there's no way that should be something that happens.
Yeah.
And every time that there's a crime and you see these things that go on, and then you have to make it part of the reality that we live in, and we can. I think that there's a way to counter that, like by exposing and putting light on it. But I think it's one of those like deviances that is like hard to talk about for anyone. Either to like admit that something's gone on that is that, or and I think the media outlets are talking about it more, but like as far as shining light on these incidences and how wrong it is, making it very clear that people who partake in that will be caught. You know what I mean? Not to like say like like there's this whole philosophy and psychology of vicarious learning, and they talk about one of the things they talk about is, do you or should you televise executions of people? And will you vicariously learn that something is wrong because you've now seen a person be executed for something that's a crime? And so I mean, that's a big question, right? How will people learn, or in that method, or how do we, because you can't really cure a person of the disease that they have in their mind. These things that they do, can they learn with something like that, or or I mean, we just need to do a better job of actually finding and exposing, and it's kind of like not cutting grass, but like maybe pulling weeds. Sometimes you end up pulling the actual grass you want to keep. We just have to be more careful of pulling those weeds out. In both cases, assault and also you know, child abusers. So and you know, people get caught up. Those regular grass folks, they get caught up in weed pulling. But they're trying to pull out the weed so fast to get the grass to grow again that, you know, sometimes there are those cases where it's a misidentification and stuff like that.
Yeah, it's like, because you heard about the news that, I don't know, I think it's the Supreme Court that wants to make pedophilia a part of the LGBTQ flag or community or whatever.
Huh. I thought, like, when I've read some Tumblrs too, like that is just like maybe like a right wing like campaign or secret ploy to demonize LGBTQ.
Yeah.
So I actually can see that. Like, obviously, someone out there is doing it on purpose. They're putting up these signs saying that they want to add this to LGBTQ, and it's just it's ridiculous that it would be added to it. And you know, like, people are gonna believe what they see. Some people just believe what they see, right? And so they're counting. Some people are counting on that. It's kind of like the whole helter skelter thing. Like, I go back to that, creating chaos by manufacturing incidences is what is going on in this situation. Like he said, like he murdered, you know, he murdered Tatum O'Neal and the Folgers heir.
It was Sharon
Tate.
Sharon Tate's, and she was married to Roman Polanski at the time.
Yeah, so like he murdered them and trying to make it look like a gang shooting or whatever. And I mean, he failed, and I hope this new campaign fails because it's no shred of truth to it. It's just to cause a stir in the, you know, the climate that we live in now.
I guess we can we can end on that note. It's a really deep show. Ugh.
Very.
Like it. I have to say, this is probably one of my favorite episodes. We just let it all out.
We did.
Oh man! So I guess we can count this as the first or the pilot episode of Midnight Society.
Yes, this is a Midnight Society pilot,
or as they call it in Hollywood, a backdoor pilot.
Right, where you just kind of like give it to someone without them knowing.
Oh yeah, backdoor. So yeah, this will be the first official Midnight Society episode. Yeah, after I'm done with editing this, I'll send you the link, and you can just post it on your profile.
Yeah.
If you want, if you're comfortable with that.
I would need to figure out how to do it. I just like upload it to my Speaker.
Spreaker. Well, I'm gonna edit it, and then I'll send you the file, and then you just upload it to Spreaker, and you can do whatever you want with it.
Ooh, anything I want.
Anything. Not in the ear though. Not in the ear.
That's off limits.
And it has to be with the sock.
Always play safe.
Always play safe. So yeah, catch us on Spreaker. As usual, that's our home. Spotify, Castbox, Podbean, iTunes, Google Play, HBO, Showtime, Cinemax, IFC, ABC, NBC, CBS, Telemundo,
ESPN,
Sabado Gigante, Cartoon Network, Disney Channel,
Adult Swim,
WWE Network, Adult Swim, PBS. Anyways, I'm playing. Yeah, you can catch us on, wherever you can hear us. As far as Sunday goes, I'm not sure. I'm actually trying to get a special guest on, and I'm not gonna say who. It's someone that is very well known in the podcast world.
Ooh.
Again, I'm not gonna be one of those guys that's gonna be like, I got something big in the works on Twitter, and then
I know.
and then it doesn't end up happening. It's gonna.
That's a lot of tea.
It's gonna be huge. It's gonna be huge.
Huge.
Huge. Yes. As far as Sunday goes, I'm trying to see if I could record on Saturday with somebody. I'm again. It's not set in stone. It's whispers right now. Whispers.
It's in whisper in the wind.
Whisper in the wind. But yeah. Hopefully this fucking cold goes away by Saturday. Are you available for next Wednesday, perhaps?
Perhaps I am. Hopefully.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll talk about it over the weekend and see what we can do. If not you, maybe Devin or somebody else. The show's always welcome to new visitors.
I love it. That's what I love about it.
And that's what I love about you.
Oh.
Yeah, you're my little snuggly bear.
I was called a bear today.
By who? Who is this person that called you a bear?
A cuddly teddy bear, I was called.
Oh, yeah.
I don't feel like one, but...
You're very cuddly.
Oh, thank you.
Now you're gonna make me blush. Alright, man, I'll make sure to send you a link, and shouldn't take that long, maybe like 30 minutes or so.
Cool. I'm excited.
You should be.
Oh, I am.
Alright, man, take care. Laters.
Laters.